It's very simple, I think. Very simple.
I wanted to say, actually, before we begin, thank you so much for the
Thank you.
opportunity
Thank
to
you.
speak with you.
All the way from US. Thank you.
Yes, and it's just, I'm just so thrilled to be here. And so thank you so much for having me. So to begin, why was it important to write this book? I mean, this book is really, it's a roadmap, but it's also a very personal book. What was on your mind when you wanted to write this?
The whole yoga, the practice itself, is a very confusing subject. So many have suggested, but they're all logical, that this can happen, and they explain things based on other people's experiences. I have tried to put it in a very honest way, what I have learned from my guide, and how each one of us uniformly experience the same thing. And it's a concretized conclusion that how each chakra has a specific consciousness. And years of interacting with many seekers of spirituality, experiencing the same thing again and again, now the hypothesis can become a theory. And that's what we have tried to explain, that when you are on a particular chakra, this is the consciousness, these are the emotions, these are the thinking patterns while you are at this particular chakra. The energy movement that you will feel, whether it is clockwise or anti-clockwise, those who would like to dive deeper into all these things. Also, the colors that one perceives while at a particular chakra will be different. And all these things that I have mentioned are not hearsay or borrowed knowledge. It's actually practically experienced not only by myself, but all those who have been practicing. So there is a value addition based on others' similar experience and other experiences. And that's how the book came into being.
And you also tell us sort of what to look out for as we are ascending through these chakras, like the sort of the trouble zone.
The trouble zone will always be there, because we as humans like to sit in our own comfort zone. And even though we know that the advancing in the spiritual journey is beneficial for me, yet it's like waking up in the morning. So, you don't want to get up. You are so comfortable with your sleep. Moving out of consciousness of one level is perhaps worse than waking up from sleep.
Why do you say that?
Because that consciousness is so addictive. And you don't want to, even though that's the next higher level of addiction is awaiting you. But it is so alluring to remain in that lower state of consciousness. And to move into higher level of consciousness, it's like, moving a satellite from Earth and passing out of that gravitational field and giving it a boosting energy so that it can have the escape velocity. It requires a lot of efforts. Perhaps worse is to move from one chakra to another. It is like moving from one galaxy to another galaxy. Your consciousness is so different, even from when you move from heart chakra to Atma chakra. If we compare it or ignore the lower three chakra and begin our journey from the heart, considering the heart as the first chakra, it is not that we are trying to exclude the lower three chakras, but they're not important for human beings. Because we are already evolved. We have already transcended the lower three chakras.
When we start here.
And that's why we start with the heart. What separates human from rest of the animal kingdom is this heart. And that's where we begin our spiritual journey. And the very next chakra is of a different level altogether. So much of peace. And then out of this peace arises the birth of real love. These are all dependent. Like when we are on the first chakra, we find so much of contentment. And it gives birth to a second chakra. I mean, experiencing the second chakra, full of peace. Similar peace will also be found once we are on the ninth chakra, but of a different frequency altogether, different level of peace. Though at second also, it's a signature of the second chakra that you feel immense peace, not only within you, but outside as well. But when we are on the ninth chakra, then peace is also of a different caliber. And I wish people to experience all that. That what is the difference between one level of peace and another level of peace? One level of contentment, another level of contentment. One level of love, another level of love. It's a beautiful, beautiful journey.
But maybe someone gets to the second chakra and they have that peace and they're like, I'm good. And then they're like afraid to move forward.
It always happens.
Yeah.
It always happens. And that's when I would say, when you become so comfortable in whichever state you are in, we have the trainers who help us all to get out of that comfort zone and give you the taste of the next level. It's alluring. It's like appetizer, and then you get into that grove. Then you get settled there for some time, and you experience the journey within that chakra, right? And then again, a time comes, you feel so comfy about it, and then again. So we do try and meet our trainers at least once, twice a week, either in person or remotely, and try to take meditation sessions over and above what we do daily on our own, like a few minutes of morning meditation, few minutes in the evening, a different level of meditation. In the evening, we try to remove the impressions that we collect during daytime, knowingly or unknowingly. For example, you're in the office and we always collect some impressions about the surroundings of people. We collect that garbage and we carry it in our mind and heart. So there is a technique we teach how to get rid of these complexities and impurities we collect in our mental as well as the heart level and emotional level. See, there is nothing wrong in collecting any impression. To me, there are two types of impression. One that we collect at a mental level as a cognitive memory, which is good. Emotional memory, generally we harbor and store the negative type more often than the good ones. And that is detrimental to our overall health. And that's what we get rid of it. We don't recommend that you remove the cognitive part of it, because that teaches us, that prepares us. The emotional memory to hold on to, it's not good. Even if it is a great experience, you enjoy it, that's all. But don't go on and on with it and say, oh, I had this and I had that. What next thing happens even better and better and better. And that's how we spoil our present day happiness. I want more.
Yeah, give me more of that.
There's no end to it.
Can you talk about the chakras? Because one of the things that I found so fascinating in the book was I was familiar with this sort of the circles up the spine, and I think there's 8 and then or 7, and then learning in the book that not only are they not only up the spine, that they're in the chest and above the head and the back. Are these different systems, or is one more evolved than the other? And I don't know if you can speak to why we've become so familiar with that one linear system.
Linear system is based on what they call it. There are 2 approaches to the whole thing. One approach, what we call Dayal Sakti, compassionate. Another is Kal, which requires a lot of asceticism. And it is well known amongst ascetics, sannyasins, who really lead a very strict lifestyle. And they have experienced only 7 types, and they are on the spinal cord. Right. So the basic 3 ones, Swadhisthana, for example, the Muladhara, the very first one, right? And Manipur, they are here. They are not on the spinal cord, right? Heart chakra is heart chakra. It's in the heart. The Panchabhutas we call, they are all located here, 5 chakras. I call it as a constellation of the heart chakra. And there are many more chakras around each existing chakras. Not just what I have mentioned, there are many, many more. And actually, they're infinite. One has to experience it to feel all those things. The method adopted with these front chakras is much different from the one that is followed with the Kala chakra, Kala Sakti. It is mainly tantric. It requires a lot of asceticism and what we call brahmacharya type of life, which is against nature actually. Imagine you have to be celibate all your life. Is it natural? That's why people who follow that end up going crazy at times. Because you cannot control your own energy. You are suppressing certain level of activities at a hormonal level, and it's too powerful. Even, to work against nature, no one can be successful. I was going to adopt that method in my early childhood when I was 17, 16, like that. But then when I met one sage, he told me, look, I have renunciated my whole family at a very early age like you. You don't do that. Now I'm 81, 82 years of age. I have not found even one level of spiritual grain by practicing this. I go from village to village like a beggar. And I cannot return back home also. He said, this is not the right path. The same month, I found a teacher who taught me this way of meditation, Heartfulness way. And she, my trainer, she was a householder. And when I expressed her that I would like to become a renunciate, an ascetic, leading a celibate life, she smiled and said, do you think you're wiser than God? I said, what do you mean? She said, are you questioning God's creation? I said, what do you mean? He said, God was not a fool to create 2 sexes if one was enough. Do you understand now? I say, yes. One has to lead a natural life. If you want to evolve naturally, follow the natural pattern. As simple as that. No one has succeeded by following unnatural ways. Unnatural ways may give you temporary satisfaction, temporary pleasure. But that's not all. One has to, if you're looking for something beyond bliss, then you have to experience bliss in the first sense. If you want to go beyond pleasure, if you want to go beyond sensual things, you have to go through all this. So don't decry and don't undervalue the importance of natural appetites that we have for many things in life. Many religions consider and look at sex, for example, as an abhorring thing, as a very low-level thing, which is not true. It can become a divine act. It depends on your attitude. If you have, it's like passion versus compassion. With passion, you make use of the other for your pleasure. In compassion, you sacrifice yourself for the pleasure of the other. And no one has grown, at least spiritually, by taking advantage of the other. No one has grown. Look at the life of Jesus Christ, or Moses, or Prophet, or Krishna, every religion, Buddha. They have sacrificed themselves. They have lived for others. They have shared their bread, they have shared their shelters with others, shared their love with others. What we these days demand is love more and more from others. And that's where the failure is. I want more love, but you can earn more love by giving only. The whole thing is invertendo. What happens in the material world need not happen in the spiritual world. You can become rich in the material world by gaining. In spiritual realm, it's by giving.
Before we started recording, you were talking about in the Bible how many times it is mentioned heart versus mind.
856 times.
Yeah, can you share a little bit about that? And why do you think that is? And how does that connect to what we're talking about here today?
Well, I don't know. Someone keep asking such questions, and one Christian priest who had been all his life, he has been a priest and became our heartfulness seeker. And he appreciated it so much. Such a beautiful heartfulness way. And it's as if he's endorsing. He mentioned that King James Bible, he mentions the word heart 826 times. That's the importance of the heart. And brain, not even once. And modern science also proves it time and again. And, that the heart perceives much before the brain can perceive certain external stimuli. Heart even receives and is beginning to even respond before mind perceives. So that's how fast it is. Yogic tradition also says that all 108 energy channels, they pass through the heart. Embryologically speaking, it's the heart, the first organ to be formed. Much before the brain, much before the lungs, the heart. And many systems, many scriptures, especially Vedas and Upanishads, there are hundreds and hundreds of verses. They talk of the importance of the heart in not only physical but also spiritual life. For example, when you are discerning right from wrong, logic says something, heart says something, right? And when we analyze all the things that has happened in our life, all the decisions that we have made in our life, be it emotional or for dating or a business or which office or where to go, where to dine, which clothes to purchase. Wherever we have used the heart, we have been successful almost all the time. Whenever we allow the mind to interfere with the heart's decision, it has always gone wrong.
And yet sometimes I think, I hope this is not just me, the tendency to I'm going to override the heart with intellect. I'm going to think it through.
That's a conflict.
Yeah.
The best situation is where you have the conscience of the heart and the logic of the mind, the eclipse. The eclipse of both is the most beautiful situation where heart says something and mind also agrees. That's the best situation. See? And to make such powerful decision where both agree, there's an eclipse of conscience. That happens only when mind is quiet, heart very clear. And in that moment, when we are so silent from inside, then the question arises how to become that absolutely clear. The Buddha, he says a beautiful story, the importance of the clarity. He asked one of his disciples that fetch me some water. He was thirsty. So he goes out, but then by the time he takes the water from the river, some bullock cart passes and that is the water. And he waits for half an hour. It's still not clearing. So he returns back to Buddha. Second time he sends him back. Why don't you go? Again, the same thing has happened. Bullock cart passing or someone dirtied the water. He says, wait there. So you wait as long as you can till, it becomes clearer. So he waited. All the dirt settles and he was able to take water, clearer water by waiting. Meditation to me is also like waiting, filtering all the unnecessary thoughts. But with this transmission we talked about, the vibrations that settles all other vibrations and fine-tunes our thinking and feelings, we are able to arrive at poised mind, silent heart in a very positive way. And you are able to make very clear-cut decisions, right from wrong. And when we are closest to those feelings in our heart, those decisions are the best decisions. In Judaism also, I love that comparison, the definition of sin. In Judaism, they say sin means being strayed away from the source. And if you consider the source as our heart, source of making decision, as we move away from the heart, means you're not listening to the heart. Whatsoever you may do will be sinful.
Well, and that's really what you offer here in this book is a roadmap. This is not inaccessible for the rare and lucky few. This is something that any seeker, any practitioner can follow and reach.
It's the spiritual journey, I would say, is really for normal people. In fact, when you say the lucky few, I would tell them unlucky few. Because they think themselves to be so great and separate themselves from the rest of the godly kingdom. It is their ego that prevents them to become even human. We have to, as a normal family person, in a normal family life, grow together heartfully, love each other. If we cannot love each other, how are you going to love God, unseen God? So forget about the whole thing then. So one has to lead a natural, normal life. If you think this is natural, do it that way. If you think it's not natural, don't do it. Follow your heart. Don't depend on others for your justification of way of life. Are you happy with your way of life? Go ahead with it. If you're not happy, don't curse others. Don't try to justify your lifestyle from the viewpoint of others. If you're so confident, go ahead with it. My statement is covering many aspects of modern day society.
Shifting gears a little bit, we're here at beautiful Kana, and I'm hoping you can talk about why it was important to create this place, which is truly an oasis, a village, a community. why was it important to build this from nothing, from barren ground?
Well, it all started by recollecting writings of my first founder of the system, Talaji. He visited a place in central India sometime in 1929. Having visited that place, he said, this reminds me of a place described in Ramayana. It's where the description of the place is such, it's so profound. He said, the water of this place, the trees, the people, the surrounding environment, it's so profound and spiritually rich that whoever can meditate in this environment can get elevated consciousness. They find tremendous peace. But he says, now I am at the sunset of my life and I don't have time. Unfortunately, I'm being attracted to this beauty of this place and people. But alas, I don't have enough money also to finish the task. So, with curiosity, I went to see that place, but it was barren because we're talking 1929, and when I visited was 2010. Much water had flown under the bridge. The place was destroyed. People had finished that forest. But then I referred to that book that he was mentioning, the beauty of that place, the trees, the water, and so I said, I must make something like that to fulfill his dream. And there he mentions that the trees, especially plants, water, all this nature, retains the divine or spiritual charge much longer than human beings can. Human beings, to him, he transmits. Very few will retain the charge. While trees, they will retain as long as they live, and even after they die, they retain it in their dead wood. Human beings, they have the capacity to retain, and not only retain, but make it grow. They have a great potential, but they don't use it. Because the mind is often used for destructive ways and in downgraded ways. Because as we talked earlier, to improve your consciousness, it requires efforts. And we don't want to put efforts. We don't will to make efforts. We are in a state of entropy, continuously destabilizing our system. Entropy. Physically, we don't have much control. We have control over our emotions, but we let go. We are depending always on the others for our emotional fulfillment, our love, this, that. And whenever we depend on others, I think we become slave. Even depending on God, a stage would come, why must I? It's not ego. It's like son telling father, I can stand on my legs. It's not egoistic statement. But it's only to make father feel proud that now, yes, my boy has grown up.
When you visit, was it here that you visited in 2010?
No.
It wasn't here in this
That was
place.
in central part of India in Madhya Pradesh.
Okay.
Near Bhopal. Yeah, this was the place we started acquiring sometime in 2010, almost the same time. Not knowing, because at that time we had acquired very little, but now we have almost 700 hectares of land here.
And let's talk about the trees, because today we got to visit, I called it a sapling nursery, where all the tissue sampling is going on, and all the trees that are being not only grown here, but like species being saved.
Yes.
So can you talk about what you've really built here, you and your community. I'm not saying you, but like,
Yes.
talk about what Kana has become, and in such a short time.
Yeah. Our plantation drive began sometime in 1670. At that time, we didn't have much water also. It was absolutely barren land. We used to request the visitors, please bring a gallon or 2 gallons of water whenever you come, and adopt a tree and water it whenever you come. So that was our situation, see. And slowly, as we planted varieties of saplings, people who came from various parts of India, some came also from overseas, people coming from South America, United States, Australia, Africa. We request them, bring some seeds or some saplings. So this is Noah's Ark of plantation. And also my dream project is to multiply these red species or endangered species, which you may not see in next 10 years. We are reviving them and multiplying them in millions and planting them in forests. Luckily, some politicians are cooperating. In fact, they go out of their way and say, why don't you plant in my state? So that's what we do now. See, we have this plantation drive of millions of trees will be planted, and we need nurseries like what we have at Kana, tissue culture. So even if there is one last leaf of a plant left on the planet, we can produce millions of them from that leaf. So it's a great thing.
Yes, it's a gift for the future.
Yes.
It's a gift for the whole planet. But even beyond the trees, I mean, what the campus here is beautiful. It's idyllic, it's peaceful, but there's so much happening. Like we saw the demonstration today of Bright Minds. So education for young people. I sat through, I had a preceptor working with me, my own meditation practice, all the healing and the wellness. I mean, when you see what this has become in this short time, what do you think?
I love it. But still, we have a long way to go.
Long.
Very long way to go, because what I foresee, we have not achieved it as yet. I like to see that people coming here, even for a day, should feel transformed. They should take some fragrance, spiritual fragrance from here and find peace. And they should be able to radiate that peace wherever they go. Often we talk about, I visited this cave or I visited this church or temple. And we often remember the experiences, right? But I like to see that we, having attained certain level of consciousness, awareness, spiritual dimension, I should be able to radiate that. I should also become the transmitter of that love. Having benefited spiritually, I should myself become the transmitter. Share that. See. So people can also say, not only I visited the cave and I found peace, I visited and I met this person, and in his association, in his company, I found peace, even though I was there for 5 minutes.
And I can give.
That is the dream I have, that people should feel so charged up. Okay, yes, it is possible.
Yeah, so someone could come here, maybe they've never met it, and could come here to Kana and be immersed in this nature, in the warmth of the people who are here, and have this experience, and then take that home to their home country or their home city or whatever, and others could feel it because they're
radiating that. Yeah. It must become a lifestyle. Then they should become that. See, to me, what's most important is not the teachings of Bible or Gita, but the essence behind that teaching. That means I have to get out of the religious dogmas and beliefs and begin to experience the essence of what is written. For example, when Lord Jesus says, be love, be innocent like children. We read, but we don't become love, we don't become like children. Even to experience love is rarity. Because we demand love, we experience love with our own expectation that this is love. Right? So our understanding is not really what we are. The reflection is displayed in our words and in our behavior. But are we that really? That entity? Not really. So I would say that when we move away from dogmas and belief system and don't apply my masked self, but remove the mask of ignorance and see things, that requires efforts. And only then I will be able to experience what is there in the Holy Scriptures. Remove my belief system, remove my ignorance and see from that. So like when we meditate for one simple thing. We want to experience divinity. For that, I have to have some belief that divinity exists, right? Or say, be honest about the whole thing and say, God, I don't even know you are there or not. That will be an honest statement to make. And with that attitude, when I sit and say, okay, I don't even know you're there or not, but I like to experience the presence if you're there. And leave everything, mental conception or contrivation that we have about that godliness. Don't be a Christian at that time. Don't be a Jew or don't be a Hindu at that time. Because all that will condition you. And you will want to see the divinity only in that form. Right? And that can shortchange us. So we have to be honest and experience that presence, the way the true divinity is all about. Right? And when we experience it, it's better than having just a belief. Right? Then you know. Is it everything? Experiencing it, though it's better than knowledge. To me, experience is not, because many a time we experience and next time you forget the whole and you want it again and then it's gone. Then you want it again and it's gone. Different experiences come. And not a single experience repeat itself. It's like I give the example of, you visiting your friend who is so wealthy, private island and all that, and you spend 3 months there. You love the hospitality there. But deep down you say, though I experience hospitality of my wealthy friend, I wish I was also very wealthy. Right? So experiencing wealth, becoming wealthy, they're two different things. Experiencing divinity and becoming divine are also two different things. So we move from knowledge to experience to becoming. Right? But now becoming is also heavy. In the sense, when you experience bliss, and this bliss stays with you like it becomes you kind of. it becomes a burden to you. And you want to say goodbye to that also. So becoming also is a burden. You drop that. You don't drop it consciously. It just happens. It simply happens. I can give you the example like how you compare the consciousness of an individual self with the raindrop and consciousness of the universal self with an ocean. It's like raindrop falling in the ocean, individual consciousness merging in the cosmic consciousness. That is, to me, is the ultimate merger of this little being with that universal self. Most people get stuck in the traditional chakra that you mentioned, seventh chakra, Sahasra Dal Kamal SDK, which is a crown chakra. And that chakra provides so much of bliss, unparalleled bliss. And often people think it is the ultimate state and get stuck. They don't want to get out of it. That's why they are not able to see anything beyond it. You are stuck. But if you find a guru or a master of caliber, he can help you get out of it and take you further on, see.
And move like to oneness is what I hear you saying.
The source of everything.
So we start in the intellect, then we move to experiencing, and then we move beyond it.
Beyond. Becoming.
But even beyond becoming, like
Being.
Oneness, being.
Yeah. Into nothingness.
Into nothingness ultimately. And so what are your hopes for Kana now? I mean, like, I've just been so wowed to think that this was barren land 6 years ago. And it's just this thriving community with so many people living here and so much light and joy. What's next?
Well, to create many such kanhas on the globe.
Come to Los Angeles.
I will. We should make so many of them. Spiritual oasis, multiple places, and make people benefit from it. Kana, to me, it's a beginning. We should have many such kanas on the globe. People don't have to come to India. A lot of people cannot afford it also. So we can have it in many countries, such centers. Selfless people and spiritually awakened people to make such a journey.
So Kana is like the model that it works. Like we see it works. You have the evidence.
Yeah. And beauty here is, we have comfort domes and many kitchens. We have facilities for people who can afford to spend. We have facilities for people who cannot afford also. Free accommodation for 1 week, free food for 1 week. And this practice, we never charge anything for the practice. It's up to each individual to contribute or not to contribute. But the hotel accommodations, etc., we have no choice but to charge to provide such facilities.
It's so beautiful because it means that the seeker doesn't need to overcome any hurdle. Well, I guess they need to get here. They're not already in India. But then, or the many Heartfulness centers that are around the globe.
Correct.
That you can just go and learn. Or if you don't even want to go anywhere, you could do it online and learn and connect with people. I mean, it's really, you couldn't make it any easier to get,
It's as good as saying, God, I'm waiting, come down.
That's right. That's right. I'm right here.
Right.
Well, you've been more than generous with your time. I thank you so much. What a privilege and honor to talk to you and to unpack these concepts and to experience Kana myself. It's phenomenal. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So it's very simple, I think. It's very simple.